Hello and welcome to Storytime. I'm Ron Miscavige and I'm your storyteller, and welcome to the show. So just sit back and relax and enjoy the moment. Just take a little break from life itself. These stories I read are out of two books that I've written. The one today I'm going to read is out of a book called True Confessions of a Kid, and there's another one called Hideouts for Midgets on the Lam. And these are actual stories that happened to me, and since they happened to me, I thought they were interesting to me when they happened, so I like reading them out to you. Hope you enjoy it. Today's story is called The End of the Second World War. This is a tough one for me to start talking about, since when I was a kid, when it happened, it was a bit unreal to me that there were people killing each other. I knew about the Germans and heard about Hitler. Beyond that, the only reality I had was at 9 o'clock, my parents would tune into a radio station where Gabriel Heater would come on, and he started the program by saying, "Well, it doesn't look good tonight, Mr. and Mrs. America." And then he would tell you the bad news. Let me tell you something. He was the original harbinger of doom. An optimistic person would go in a room and see a light where there was none. He would go into a room where there was a light and blow it out. I don't know why we listened to him, but it was a nightly event. Following that, we would listen to the Green Hornet, the Shadow, the Lone Ranger, and the Inner Sanctum, which we refer to as the screechy door, because the opening sound effect of the program was a door opening that was in dire need of 3-in-1 oil. My worst experience of the entire era was when my brother Red was drafted. He was about 12 years older than me from a prior marriage of my dad. We got along really well, but since he was much older, he enjoyed teasing me and pulling my nose in a playful fashion and then running away so I couldn't catch him. Anyway, the day he was getting to leave for the service on the bus, he pulled my nose in his playful manner just as he was getting on the bus to leave to go to the army. I yelled over the din of goodbyes, "I hope the Germans get you." That night, I caved in. I wrote my brother a letter telling him I loved him, I was sorry, and I really didn't want the Germans to get him. Then I mailed it out as fast as I could. The war did end. When it was over, all hell broke loose in my small hometown. This was a coal mining town. There were fire trucks, coal trucks, dump trucks, flatbeds, and pickup. Going through the streets, guys were hanging onto the doors, firing rifles and shotguns in the air as a means of celebration. Ted and Ida Minnick, who owned a small grocery store on the corner of our street, celebrated by Ida, not Ted, coming out of the house with a revolver and shooting it up in the air until she ran out of ammo. Everybody in the town got drunk that day, including some of the dogs. But worst of all, in my opinion, was this. My father was an accordion player, and he wanted to celebrate the victory in this fashion. He went out on our front porch and had me go with him, with me playing a bass drum and a cymbal the way I used to play it at Kessler's Clambake. To me as a kid, this was a complete disgrace. An additional pain was I had to wear my new trousers, and they were 100% wool, probably from the same sheep they used to make the shirts out of for people to wear as penance and offer a suffering up to God. To boot, it was hot that day and I was sweating like a pig. I hadn't started taking trumpet lessons yet, so that wasn't even an option. Now, my old man primed himself with some muscatel wine, which is wine fortified with additional alcohol. His face was red from drinking that, but he knew he was the greatest accordion player in town, mistakes and all. Still, I had respect for him, since he taught me how to complete cycles of action. He didn't call it that at the time, but one time we were doing some work around the house, and I said to him, "Hey, Pop, when are we going to be done?" He said, "Don't watch the clock, kid. We are done when the job is done." In other words, complete what you were doing in full, and then move on to the next thing. An actual, real, valuable lesson in life. We played for about an hour and a half, and all the time, I'm going to give you that again. We played for about an hour and a half, and all the time I gutted it out, since I was the only kid who knew waltz time from 2/4 time and could keep an even beat. Well, as I look back, I guess it wasn't that bad. We kicked the Nazis' ass, the guys were coming home, and we could enjoy each other's company and be a family again. I only wish I could have played a legitimate instrument. Still, a moment in time, to me, or for me, that I enjoyed very much. End of the story. And I'll tell you, that was a moment that, I got to tell you, it's still very fresh in my memory. It was a wonderful celebration, and we freed America from the possibility of us leading a different life. Wonderful time for everybody for us to win that war. So that's my story for today. And then if you ever want to get these books that I'm reading from, you can go to my website, therealronmiscavige.com, and you can get them there. They're not expensive, and I think you'd enjoy reading them. It'd be nice to have a copy. And you can see the other things that I do also. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to this, please do so. And if you care to help support these programs that I do several of them, you can become a Patreon by going on my website and seeing how to do that. So that's my offering for today for you to enjoy life and just forget about everything else. And hopefully you enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoy the future ones. I'll keep on doing them. So from me to you, you have a great day. God bless all of you. Enjoy a healthy life. I'll see you on the next story time. I'm Ron Miscavige. See you again.